UFC Jacksonville. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Looking forward to talking about each of these matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Also note, full card fight companion, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Do not miss it. Looking forward to the live stream. And we got some good fights. First thing we will mention is Tatsuro Taira and Clayton Rodrigues is canceled because Clayton Rodrigues came in at 129 pounds. He's never getting a fight at flyweight again. That type of miss is unacceptable. Last time out, he was 127. So he already missed against Shannon Ross, which was a fight he got a quick knockout win in. He has to go to 135 now, at least for a couple fights. I don't think the UFC allows him to stick around at 125 with back-to-back weight misses and costing Tatsuro Taira a massive fight. I mean, he's an undefeated prospect, and if he would have beat Clayton Rodrigues, that would have just helped continue to push that hype train. Unfortunate for Taira, but I believe he's going to be fighting at UFC Singapore. Let's get into the predictions with our first fight of the night. We have Cody Brundage versus Sedriques Dumas. Throughout the week, I have picked the side of Cody Brundage. I do believe the wrestling game is the X factor in this fight. Dumas is a long striker. If he's on the ground with Brundage, he's very susceptible to being submitted. I am going to bring up the fighters on the scales. We're going to look through all of them, and I screenshotted everything myself here because none of the major MMA media sites release photos for these weigh-ins. So your boy put in the work for it. There is Sedriques Dumas on the scale. Looks solid as expected. There's really nothing to note from him on the scales here. On the opposite side, I gotta say, respect to Brundage taking it on short notice and having some visible abs. He didn't come in out of shape. He looks ready to rock. What I say about young fighters is they should be prepared to fight all the time. I expect Brundage to still have a gas tank near to the level of what he would have, taking a fight on a full camp. And then we'll pull up the official face-off between these two, which is right about here. And there's the face-off. We'll make it a little bigger so we can really get the feel. Dumas doesn't look as much taller as advertised. I mean, what is he, 6'2" to 6 foot? Yeah, I guess I was thinking he was 6'3". There's not a significant size difference here. I think that Brundage is going to be able to wrestle him when they go to the floor. His grappling advantage is going to be substantial, and I'm calling it win by submission, Cody Brundage to start the night off. Now, as far as the lines for this fight, Brundage is minus 175, the favorite. Dumas plus 150, the underdog. At open, Brundage was actually plus 130, the dog. We've seen the line flip. We've seen it at even money for a bit, and now Brundage is a fairly strong favorite. I do believe he's winning the fight. Brundage also to win via submission sits at plus 160. I believe that is his most likely method to victory. So we're going Cody Brundage for the win over Sedriques Dumas, and I'm going to call it win via submission for the first fight of the night. Let's keep running up. Second fight on the card, Jamall Emmers and Jack Jenkins. I've been picking the side of Jamall Emmers, leaning towards his length advantage, veteran experience. Jack Jenkins is a good prospect on the other side, and he does have some nasty calf kicks. He definitely can mix it up in the stand-up department, but I think Emmers is going to be a very difficult test for a sophomore UFC appearance. I almost said UFC experience, but I guess, yeah, it's a sophomore experience in the octagon, a second fight in the UFC. Don Shannis was his debut. This is a massive step up in competition. Jamall Emmers, 2-2 in the UFC. Not like he's taking people out every fucking time, but, I mean, Giga Chikadze split. Beat Vince Cachero, not a great name. Lost to Pat Sabatini quickly, but hurt him there, and then beat up Askabov in the last fight, who was unbeaten. So I like Emmers to take out another good prospect in Jack Jenkins. Now, as far as the scales, we will bring up the official weigh-ins for each of them first. Let's bring our guy Jack Jenkins on the scale. I got to tell you, he looks shredded. He looks good. He looks ready to rock here. Let's shrink it down so it's more normal size. He's in great shape. He's got a cool mustache. He's a tough prospect. I think Jamall's a tough stylistic matchup. Note, Emmers came in heavy on first attempt, weighed in a second time, shaved his head. So we got mythical fighter bald Jamall Emmers unlocked. You know, he's had a shaved head before, but he's clean shaven up top, man. This is Mr. Clean Jamall Emmers. I am picking Jamall Emmers to win the fight. I will still pull up the official face-off between these two, but I don't expect it to have, you know, any shift on anyone. So if you're picking the side of Emmers, I think it's going to stay the same. If you're picking Jenkins, you're probably thinking the same thing. Obviously, we already knew. Emmers is taller, Emmers is longer, and I think Emmers is winning this fight by a judge's decision. As far as the odds for this matchup here, Jamall Emmers minus 210 the favorite, Jack Jenkins plus 180 the dog. I don't love the moneyline bet on Jamall Emmers at minus 210, and I note that Jack Jenkins is a hungry guy on the come up. As far as looking at this fight, I believe it goes long, over 2.5 at minus 185. I believe is a high possibility of coming through here. And then Emmers to win it on the scorecards is plus 130. I'm calling official Emmers win by decision prediction. I think that he beats a good prospect here in Jack Jenkins over the 3 rounds. Emmers for the win, and let's keep on running up the card. Third fight of the night is Trevor Peek versus Chepe Mariscal. And I was really looking forward to the weigh-ins with this matchup specifically. I did pick Mariscal throughout the week. Note that he is a 45er coming up to 55, taking a short notice fight against Trevor Peek, where his biggest advantage, I believe, lies is the wrestling department. Do have a little bit of fear, though. So let's bring them up here. Let's check these two out. I'm first going to bring up the short notice Chepe Mariscal, and we'll check him out on the scale. Let's bring him up. There he is. Okay, so Chepe, he looks like a 45er fighting at 155. Little bit pudge around the midsection, but he's a very experienced guy. He's got, 20 fights? Not a bad fighter, and he has a win over Pat Sabatini, which I think really stands out regardless of like him taking some bad L's too. I mean, Joanderson Brito stopped him in 40 seconds. So he's been in there with good competition is really what I'm getting at. Trevor Peek on the opposite side there. He looks pretty shredded and ready to kill. Trevor Peek's a pretty intense dude, man. He's got a signature look. He's a reckless striker. I mean, the way he comes out is like a fucking bat out of hell. He's throwing everything at you. He's looking to take your head off and do significant damage. He does have a real chance to touch up Mariscal. Then looking at the face-off between these two, Peek and Mariscal, you gotta say, right? We gotta say it. Trevor Peek won the face-off. Putting his hand right in his face and Mariscal not reacting isn't a great look. Little bit taller as Peek. Doesn't look like 3 inches. He only's got a half-inch reach advantage. Mariscal looked very mid on the scales, so I've been picking Mariscal throughout the week. Believe that he can kind of control the Tasmanian devil type style of a Trevor Peek, man. But this is one of those picks where you're sitting on it concerned because now we got an even line. Minus 230, Trevor Peek opened at, and now he's minus 110. Mariscal opened at plus 195. Now he's minus 105. So I asked myself this question. If I had to bet on this fight, at even money, would I have more confidence backing Mariscal, a featherweight coming up on short notice, or Trevor Peek, a full-size lightweight who does have a reckless style but is also super dangerous? Damn, you know what I'm thinking? Betting on either one of them kind of seems like a fucking crazy thing to do, but I feel like fight ends inside of the distance here. Ends distance, minus 400, under 1.5, minus 185. Oh, I'm having like obviously you guys, when you know, I'm like, ooh, it's because I'm having consideration towards a pick flip towards the Trevor Peek side. But initially, I just saw that Chepe Mariscal wrestling. But as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I just have to feel like post weigh-in, I'm going Trevor Peek. He won the weigh-ins to me. He seems pretty fucking menacing. He looks in better shape. I know he brings some significant threats to Chepe Mariscal. I got to go with the gut, man. The gut is telling me flip to Peek, so I'm going to go Peek by knockout. We're flipping the side. It is what it is. Now, not my favorite bet by any means. This is a coin flip fight. Peek to win by KO is only plus 100, and the even line of Peek is minus 115, so it's kind of expected. I do think the under is coming through. I feel like this fight's not going long. You know what? I think Peak's gonna end up chinning Mariscal. I think Mariscal might get him down early and then just not be able to deal with the chaos of Peak, and then just more shots coming through. Peak puts him to bed. I got to go with what I'm feeling inside, and that's Trevor Peak to win by knockout. I'm doing the pick flip on this matchup right here. We're going the Peak side. Trevor Peak for the KO pick flip. Next fight on the card, it's Zhumagulov versus Joshua Van. I have been picking Zhumagulov throughout the week. I like Zhumagulov's hair too, man. I'm digging the new look. I think that he's going to be able to beat a Van using wrestling, pressure, veteran savvy tactics, higher level experience. I think Zhumagulov should get it done. We'll pull up Zhumagulov on the scales first, and then we'll bring up Joshua Van. Zhumagulov, the most impressive part about his weigh-in is that haircut, man. This has changed his whole career. Great decision-making for him. On the other side, we got Joshua Van. He looks lean and ready to go, but note, he's 21. He's 13 years younger, but like he's at that point where he's too young, I feel, to win here against Zhumagulov at the highest level. So I do believe Zhumagulov is going to beat him on the judges' scorecards. As far as the face-off, Zhumagulov gave him that veteran treatment. And it kind of like Van seemed 21 when he was getting faced off with. As Zhumagulov went, so he kind of pulled back. He was like, oh, yeah, he kind of said something to him. So I think Zhumagulov has got him here. I think he won the face-off. He beat him at weigh-ins, and he's beating him in the cage fight tomorrow. Zhumagulov for the win, decision. As far as the betting lines for this fight, Zhumagulov is 2-1 at -200. Van at +170. I like Zhumagulov by a decision, official pick, but -200 is not crazy to parlay up. As far as Zhumagulov winning by decision, officially +100 for that line. So I like Zhumagulov. I like them. I mean, money line -200 is, it's not great value, but he's gonna win plus money for a decision, and I think that's how Zhumagulov beats him. Judges' scorecards. I'm going Zhumagulov for the victory. Next fight on the card, ladies going after it with Tabatha Ricci and Gillian Robertson. I've been picking Gillian Robertson to pull it off, and you guys know I've accredited her switching camps to the Goat Shed team. Seems like her confidence is at an all-time high. Her shape better than ever, and now she's at 115 pounds, and they're throwing her baby shark Tabatha Ricci, who's a bright prospect. I mean, obviously, she's blue chip as fuck as far as prospects go. They're trying to build her up. First, let's bring up Robertson. She looks good. She looks confident. She looks like she needs to be shrunk down a bit, but obviously visibly lean. She's taller. She looks good. She looks good. Tabatha Ricci on the scale. Where's she at? Where's Tabatha Ricci? There she is. I mean, you can't see a ton of her frame, but she's lean and ready to go. And, beautiful girl, but definitely a stone cold killer at the same time. As far as the face-off between these two, where is my face-off? There it is. You can see height difference favoring Robertson. Is that a viable factor? I'm going to say yes, it is, but I'll also say the high-level experience in the game. I know she's accrued 7 losses as a professional. That's a lot of fights. It's a lot of experience. She's the same age as Tabatha Ricci, and she's been in the UFC for a long time. She's a naturally taller and larger girl. I think Robertson can surprise a lot of people and win a competitive decision. I'm going Gillian Robertson to defeat Tabatha Ricci, upset. As far as the odds for this fight, Tabatha Ricci's the favorite at -130. Gillian Robertson, the +110 underdog. I do think it's going over at -205. Robertson to win on the judges' scorecards, +300. That could be like a sneaky, degenerate prop right there. 3-1 for her to win by decision. She's not going to submit Tabatha Ricci, and I don't think the same thing on the opposite. Like, I think the contrary. She ain't going to submit Gillian Robertson. Robertson's going to beat her on the scorecards. Close decision. And I think consider maybe like prop. I mean, it's there. I like I don't know. I like it. I like that prop. I like that decision prop. Gillian Robertson for the win. Upset. She's beating Tabatha Ricci here. Next fight on the card, we got Mateusz Rębecki versus Loik Radzhabov. I've been picking Loik Radzhabov all week. He did miss weight. He was 157.25, which is unfortunate. But, I'm not going to pick flip it just because I saw a bit of a weight miss. It's not like he looked horrible on the scale. As far as bringing him up, that's what we're going to analyze things on for him here. Now, all week I was on Loik. I said that he's got maybe some stopping power in his overhand. He's got the wrestling game to match Rębecki. There he is on the scale. Looks in fairly good shape. Doesn't look overly sucked out, though. Look like he was, I don't think he's having one of those terrible, terrible weight cuts where he's totally dead. It's just kind of like, listen, we ain't going to get there. We ain't going to make weight. You're off by a few pounds, but I don't think it's a performance-affecting weight cut. Maybe even a performance-benefiting weight cut. Benefiting. I mean, look at Rębecki, though. Holy shit. Rębecki, as John Anik would say. Shredded obliques. Lean. Shorter than his opponent. Coming to fucking kill. This is going to be a very good fight because this is a big test for Rębecki. And let's bring up the face-off. And you can see the size difference, though. Look at it here. Look at the back of Loik Radzhabov. In the grappling, I think he's stronger than Rębecki. I believe he can control him against the cage a bit. Earlier on in the week, I was thinking that overhand might be a factor, and he punches Rębecki and puts his lights out. Sure, it's possible, but decision feels more right after seeing them on the scale. So I'll say decision as the official post-weigh-in prediction, but the same fighter. I'm picking Loik Radzhabov. Yes, I know he missed weight. He's the larger human being. I think that aids him in the grappling department, and I do believe in the stand-up, it's fairly competitive. Loik Radzhabov, to get it done, is plus 130, so he is the underdog here. Rębecki at minus 150. I don't really like any of the props. Over is minus 185. I'll read it off, but I don't like it. Radzhabov decision plus 225. KO plus 650. If you're betting it, your money line in Radzhabov. The OV for the victory. I'm going Loik Radzhabov over Rębecki in this fight here. Even though he missed weight, he's going to be larger, especially in the cage. And I think that aids him into a decision win. Next fight. Randy Brown. Wellington Turman. I've been picking Randy Brown throughout the week, and note Wellington Turman coming in as a former middleweight. Hey, I'm dropping to 170. I think a good move for his career, but Randy Brown is a tough stylistic matchup because he's so fucking long. He has grappling skills, and he can box. Way better on the feet than Wellington Turman. Now, as far as the scales for these two, don't expect much to change as far as the pick, but I got to bring them up. And we'll check him out. Let's bring up Turman first, who actually looks kind of like Alex Pereira's young cousin. He looks like, he's the young cousin that always looked up to Alex. He's got the same haircut. He's got a similar fucking facial structure, maybe, them both being Brazilian. But I don't think he has a dynamite left hook to go along with it. Turman's best bet to win is sub. I mean, he looks really good. Like, let's give credit where it's due for a former 85er coming down. He's only 26. He looks awesome on the scale. So I got to give some serious props to him. He looked great. As far as his opponent on the opposite side, rude boy Randy Brown, who's been in there with high-level opposition, is lanky, tall, and fucking hard to close the gap on. I think Randy Brown's going to be winning this fight here. And he's going to box Turman up, potentially TKO him, and I can see a straight shot really hurting Turman, but I could also see Randy Brown getting it on the scorecards, just doing more damage throughout and stopping any grappling assault. See a little bit of that height difference there, about 3 inches. The reach is really what stands out, a 6-inch reach advantage for Randy Brown. Add in, he also has a speed advantage in the striking, and he's the better boxer. I don't think Wellington Turman has these menacing takedowns. He's not amazing with level changes. When he goes to the floor, he does have good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but I don't think it's enough to get Randy Brown out of there. So I'm going Randy Brown. I am going to say TKO for Randy Brown. I think he's going to end up hurting Turman on the feet and stopping him. And maybe Turman is even confident in his stand-up and wants to test that out here at 170, saying, hey, I can hit hard. I can crack with these smaller guys. Granted, Randy Brown's still taller, even though he's down a weight class. Brown for the win, guys. Brown for the win. That's the official call. Randy Brown for the victory. As far as the odds, he's more than 2-1 at minus 220. I've been confident on Randy Brown all week. I am still very confident that he wins this fight. Turman at plus 195. Brown is a good parlay piece. Brown by TKO to mention, plus 180. Randy Brown to win. I think he's levels above Wellington Turman as far as a well-rounded fighter. The only place where I can see this fight competitive is in jiu-jitsu, right? On the ground with grappling, but just specifically the submission game. It's not like Turman has this pulverizing top game and big ground and pound. So I think Randy Brown gets it done. Pretty clean win. Randy Brown, confident. Next fight on the card is the featured prelim of the night. Neil Magny versus Philip Rowe, the Fresh Prince. We got Philly Fresh. And actually, he walked out with a damn boombox on his shoulder like he was Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I thought that was pretty funny for Phil Rowe. He's really playing into his character. I have picked Phil Rowe to win. I've said it. Neil Magny is not used to fighting anybody with his reach. He's fought a guy as tall as him, but not with his reach. Now add in the fact that Phil Rowe hits harder than Neil Magny and is a better boxer, competes constantly in grappling regardless of the results. Neil Magny needs to control against the cage, hold him from top position, and grind a win out. Phil Rowe can actually damage Neil Magny and I think knock him unconscious here. I've been leaning Phil Rowe to win by a later TKO, like in the 3rd round. And, you know, that pick as of right now staying the same will bring him up on the scales. There's Philly Fresh Phil Rowe, shredded and ready to go. He looks really fucking good. Neil Magny on the opposite side. Let's bring him up. Where's my guy, Neil Magny? There he is. Neil Magny kind of looks like the, you know, Cobra Kai type headband. Looks all right. Looks good. Looks lean. Looks ready to go. Looks like Neil Magny normally does. And then you bring up the face-off between these two. And I hated Neil Magny's body language here. I mean, he's got the hands behind the back. That's cool. Looking down. Doesn't want to go eye to eye with Phil Rowe. But also note, Phil Rowe looks a good 1.5 inches taller than Neil Magny. So is Neil Magny not really 6'3"? Is Neil Magny 6'2" and Phil Rowe 6'3.5"? What's going on here? And they both have shoes on for this. I double checked. So very interesting. Rowe's going to have a little bit of a reach edge too. He's the better boxer. And I think him being physically strong, he's deceptively strong. He's going to be a challenge for Neil Magny to control, which will aid him into creating space and finding the perfect punches. I'm going Rowe by KO in this fight. As far as the lines for this one, Phil Rowe plus 140 underdog. I'm on him as the dog. Neil Magny minus 160 as the favorite. Give me Philly Fresh Phil Rowe to win in Florida. I love it. He's swelling. He's plus 150 as a dog now. I think that's a mistake. I think he's winning. I just moneyline the dog. But you can chase the prop, but just moneyline it. Plus 450. Plus 450 for the Phil Rowe KO prop. Something to look at, but come on. It's right there. Plus 150. That'd be the way I'd go. They opened up even. So note that too. Phil Rowe plus 150 for the win. I'm calling KO, but I love the money line more than anything else. I think he does beat Neil Magny here. Great fight. Really excited for that one. Let's start the main card off. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got Brendan Allen versus Bruno Silva throughout the week. I have been picking Brendan Allen, but I have been giving you guys the yellow flag. Listen, Bruno Silva has a legit 20% chance to knock him out. No doubt. No doubt. Even though I believe Brendan Allen has the style to win the fight, that knockout is there sitting in my mind. I just see Bruno hurting him potentially. As far as the scales, let's bring it up. Let's bring the scales up here. Brendan Allen, obviously the younger guy by like 6 years, 27 versus 33. Bruno Silva coming off of a sick knockout of Brad Tavares, which we got to fucking give him some credit for. There's Bruno Silva. He looked okay on the scale. Not the best I've seen from Bruno, but good. Like, he looks pretty solid. As far as on the opposite side, Brendan Allen, all in Allen. You know, doing his normal Brendan Allen things. Looks okay. Doesn't look great on the scale. None of these guys, you know, are the physique competitors of the fight game. As far as a face-off, though, it was nose-to-nose and intense. I will stand by my official call. I do think Brendan Allen, very live for a submission. But if he fucks around in the striking department, Bruno Silva will hurt him. Brendan Allen needs this fight on the floor. Kickboxing, regardless of the confidence he has on the feet, and evident that he has made improvements in his striking game. Bruno Silva is a different level in the stand-up. He will hurt you. So if you're Brendan Allen, you strike to set up takedowns. Get this fight where you're most comfortable. Bruno Silva was taken down 7 times a while back by El Dirte Andrew Sanchez. Sanchez didn't have the grappling skill set of Brendan Allen. He wasn't as athletic or quick. I think Allen wins this fight by following a smart game plan, not falling into a brawl. Silva wins a brawl. So, Brendan Allen to pick. I will continue to mention the knockout prop for Bruno Silva. Maybe you're hedging yourself. Maybe you're like, yo, I want to throw down on Brendan Allen. I think he wins, or I got him in a parlay, and you feel that knockout whisper, maybe. Well, you can balance it out. Do a little math for yourself. Play that Silva KO prop to hedge your loss potentially, or maybe even break even, plus 265 for Silva. Maybe you're like, fuck no, I ain't betting nothing but a prop. I'm playing Silva by KO. Godspeed. Plus 265, Silva by KO. The official prediction is Allen by sub. The sub is plus 145. Allen, the 2-1 favorite. I expect him to find the way to win and finally get through the wall, which has been like that top 15. I know he beat Andre Muniz last time out, but somebody with that X factor. Muniz don't have it. Silva's got the thudding power, and we've seen Allen go to bed before. I think finally he passes the test. Brendan Allen, my prediction for this one. He gets the win. Let's keep running up this main card. Next fight on the main card is David Onama versus Gabriel Santos. Awesome fight, dog fight, weird lines. We'll talk about betting, after the breakdown here. I've been picking Gabriel Santos throughout. As far as the scales, let's bring them up. And I'm telling you, man, Santos, he's one of those prospects that he got the goods, man. He's so young, and like the way he comes in this type of shape is impressive to me. Fucking ripped to the bone, excited, confident, happy to be there. That's how you should look as a 26-year-old 10-1 prospect who probably deserved the nod over Lerone Murphy last time. On the other end, David Onama got done dirty by MMA Junkie, but don't worry, they took a second one. Onama looks shredded and good and ready to go. We'll bring up the second look with Onama's head actually in the fucking picture here. There's Onama. This one's oversized. They got to shrink it down a little bit. He looks lean. He looks ready to rock. He looks like David Onama does. And then the face-off between these two savages, which is badass. Nose-to-nose warfare. This fight's going to be violent. I'll tell you something, guys. I've been thinking Santos by decision, but the way these two faced off, no. Santos by knockout. Onama is going to bring the fire to him, and Santos is going to have the technical tools to counter. He's going to hurt Onama. Onama, we know, is not a great 3-round fighter. He gets tired as we get to the later stages because he's going to explode. He's going to look to do damage early, and if Santos is able to avoid some crazy shit, which I believe he's got the technical chops to not only evade the shots, but come back with more of his own, Santos is getting it done. Santos, I'm calling KO, actually. I'm thinking 3rd round knockout, 2nd round knockout. I'm going a KO for Santos. After originally I was thinking decision, no, I think these two end in violence, which is exciting as fuck because this is a dope fight on the main card. Now, to get to the odds side of things, we've seen, some line movement. Santos opened at plus 235 as an underdog. Onama opened up at the minus 275 favorite. Now you see Santos at minus 213. Onama at plus 183. Weird line movement. Some shit shifted. Obviously, they're seeing bets going one way or the other, which is why they decided to shift it. But, it's just odd to see, some big flips with Onama being involved with James Krause previously. So just something to mention, man. Maybe he's still, working from the shadows over here. Now, as far as this one, Santos for the win. That's my call. Minus 213 money line. I know it's not great. Under is minus 150. I do think we're going under 2.5 rounds. I think it's going to end in a knockout. Fight ends in KO or sub. Minus 200. Yeah, it's going to end in KO or sub. Let's see. What is Santos by KO? Santos by KO plus 350. I think there's a real chance that it hits. Santos by decision plus 275. I'm liking Santos by KO more and more. I'm going to call Santos by KO. Could it go long? Sure. Santos for the win. And I think he's a real special Brazilian prospect on the come up. Let's go. Good fight. Which leads us into the featured bout of the night. We have Justin Tafa versus Austin Lane. Justin Tafa is the lock of the week for me. You guys know I doubled down on Justin Tafa. I think that he's going to sleep Austin Lane. I see a way better striker in Tafa versus an athlete that's tall and chinny and leaves his chin up. Comes in a little bit stiff. We'll throw fire and heat, but Tafa's going to sit on a heavy shot and put Lane out. We've seen Lane put out before. Rinse, repeat. We're going to see it again. Tafa's putting him to bed. I like Tafa by knockout a ton, and, I'll bring up the scales here, but there's no shift. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changing for me. Nothing's changing. Let's see. Where's my guy, Bad Man Tafa? The baddest of bad man. Let's go, Tafa. Tafa gang up in here. There's Tafa. Let's bring him up. Boom, boom. There he is. 266. Every bit of it. And I'm telling you, every pound that he's got is going to be landed on the chin of Austin Lane. Austin Lane's getting chinned, guys. He's getting chinned bad. He's getting chinned. He's going out. You can tell. Bro, come on, man. You can tell from when you know he's going to bed. We all know he's going to sleep. Everybody knows he's going to sleep. Austin Lane's in trouble when Justin Tafa touches that chin, man. Good athlete, but nah. He's not a better fighter than Tafa. And then there's the face-off. That height, I'm telling you, it's going to be to Austin Lane's detriment. I think he ends up getting caught by a Tafa right hook as he tries to enter. He comes in stiff with the chin up and lets the flurries go and fucking straight back, unconscious. Tafa, though, said he ain't doing a walk-off. He's going to follow up with ground and pound, so you might see some super necessary extra punches at the end of it, and I'm very excited for it. Tafa to win, KO, lock of the night for me, lock of the week, lock of the card. Let's go, baby. Justin Tafa. Tafa minus 180 as the favorite. Austin Lane, the plus 155 dog. And you guys know I like Tafa via knockout. I do think he's sleeping him. But that line sucks. It's minus 150. It's going to be a Tafa KO. Under 1.5, minus 215. Pretty likely that it's going under. Tafa, the knockout side. He's putting Austin Lane unconscious. And I am very excited to see it unfold. Let's go. Bad man Justin Tafa for the win. He's sleeping Austin Lane. I love it. Co-main event is Amanda Ribas versus Macy Barber. My pick in this fight, Amanda Ribas. It's been Amanda Ribas all week. Macy Barber, 12-2. You know, good prospect, the future Barber. She's athletic. She's got pretty fast combinations, but I think she gets controlled by Ribas if they go to the floor. I think Ribas gives her a challenge in the striking department. I like Amanda Ribas to win. As far as the scales, we'll bring them up. Let's first bring up the younger girl. Let's bring up Macy Barber. Where's she at? There's Macy Barber on the scale. Well, not yet for you, but for me, I saw her. There she is. Looks pretty good. Looks decent. I mean, there's no. She looks all right on the scale. Looks like a girl who, you know, puts in the work. She's ready to go. She may wait. On the other side, Amanda Ribas. She looks like Amanda Ribas does. She looks like she's got something special in her eyes. And she looked in good shape, too. And then the face-off, which is everything here. These two girls went at each other in the face-off. Close. Competitive face-off. I see two confident fighters here. Both believe they can win. And it's going to go long. It's going distance. And I think that Amanda Ribas is going to get that decision. I want to say steal because she's not going to steal it. If a stolen decision happens, it's Macy Barber stealing the decision when she should have lost the fight. Granted, she's not stealing it. The judges would just take it away from Ribas. I think that Amanda Ribas beats her on the scorecards. It's not an easy fight. It's going to be competitive. There's going to be good moments for both, but Ribas will shine through. And expect her to throw a little judo in there. At least one throw by Amanda Ribas, I'm expecting to. And she'll end up in side control from that, or rather side saddle, and maybe let some ground and pound off. I like Ribas for the win. As far as the betting lines for the fight, odds sitting at Amanda Ribas, 2-1 favorite, minus 200. Macy Barber, the plus 170 underdog. I like Ribas. I know she's 2-1, but I still like Ribas to win. I mean, move down, minus 191. Let's see. Ribas by decision, my official prediction, minus 115, but you can actually find it at plus 110. Yeah, I like Ribas to get it done, man. I'm on the Ribas side, guys. Amanda Ribas for the victory. She's beaten Macy Barber by a judge's decision, and I'm looking forward to this fight. It's going long. The over 2.5, too. I'll read it off real quick. Over 2.5, minus 185. That's a good one, too. It's going over. Good fight. Ribas for the win. Let's see how the judges hold up this card. Main event of the evening. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you haven't subscribed to the channel. It's Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. And I'm picking Ilia Topuria to beat Josh Emmett, the former interim belt title challenger. Josh Emmett's a vet, and he's a good fighter, 100%. Heavy-handed motherfucker, good wrestling base too, great athlete, in amazing shape. Topuria's time is now, though. I think he can do damage to Josh Emmett on the feet. Emmett likes throwing hooks. I expect Topuria to be working some straights and finding shots. He'd even find some hooks of his own. I think he hurts Emmett on the feet. Note that Topuria has pretty grade A grappling skills that I think could potentially challenge Josh Emmett too when they tangle up. Topuria, been the pick. I'm thinking 3rd or 4th round knockout. I've heard some people say, though, they think it's going to be very early. I also don't think submission is crazy in this fight either. Topuria for the win. The confidence, obviously, on that straight, pick side, the money line side. As far as the scales, let's bring first Josh Emmett on the scale before I showcase, the new breed, the new talent. Let's shrink Josh down so we can see him shredded. Looks ready to rock. Looks ready to go. He's lean as fuck. Josh Emmett looks great all the time. Crazy good. On the other side, Ilia Topuria. Here he is on the scale in just a moment. He also looks shredded and ready to go. Young guy on the come up, and I can't wait for his showcase here, man. Nice Spaniard/Georgian getting the big fight. And then we'll bring up the face-off. I got 2 images from the face-off. The first one is in like 240p over here from far out. But, there was intensity there. Topuria kind of pawing jabs at him a little bit. Like, yeah. And then Josh is, parrying him. He's like, yeah, come on. I like it. I like the intensity. You can tell these two are going to bring the fire. It's ending inside of the distance. It's not going long. And then this one here. I like this one a lot. Let's shrink it down. There we go. Close up, confidence. I love it. Topuria for the win. I'm going to call knockout. Violence for certain in this fight. And I think a lot of violence on this Jacksonville card. Topuria's a 3-1, minus 310 favorite. He's huge as a favorite. Emmett plus 260 as the underdog. I like fight ending inside of the distance. What do we got for that? Oh, shit. Under 4.5 is minus 525. It's going under. Under 2.5, minus 240. It's risky because I'm thinking 3rd or 4th round are live for KOs. Sure, 2nd and 1st are also live for KOs, but that under's dangerous. It's a dangerous under. Let's see. Topuria to win by KO, plus 145. That's my official prediction. Topuria by sub is the same line at plus 145. Also, inside distance gives you nothing at minus 240. It's, just 60 points off from the minus 310 money line. I like Topuria to win. I think this fight's ended inside of the distance. I'm calling it official prediction. Ilia Topuria to take out Josh Emmett by KO, and I do believe he's going to be extremely close to challenging Alexander Volkanovski or potentially Yair, depending upon who ends up being the champion after they face off. But obviously, if Volk does lose, he gets an immediate rematch. But Topuria is right in that mix after beating Josh Emmett. Let's talk some parlays to finish things out. Now, what am I liking for parlays here? Well, I want to keep things on slightly safer side. So I'm going to go, something that I feel is safe. I like the over in the Ribas Barber fight. I expect these two girls to go long. And then I also, obviously, you guys know I'm really on Justin Tafa with confidence. Plus 138. I think this is a good play. If I had to add another fighter to it, Rude Boy Randy Brown. I wish I had Tatsuro Taira to add in, but he's off the card. And I had a parlay that I liked a lot with Tafa, Brown, and Taira. Now, it's done. So, replacing that Taira piece with that over 2.5 in the ladies' fight between Ribas and Barber. I like the ladies' fights to go longer. I expect them to. I think this is a pretty good, safe-sided parlay. I expect this one to hit more on the safe side. Now, if you're like, yo, I want to add, a little more chaos to the mix. I mean, if I'm trying to add chaos, let me just throw Trevor Peak for chaotic shit. Plus 534 if Peak's able to win. Yes, it was a pick flip, but I feel good after weigh-ins in Trevor Peak. Enough so with the line to confidence ratio, figure add my guy in. I think this could be sneaky. Around plus 500 range for that. If you want another women's over, which I think could definitely come to fruition, add the over in the Robertson Ricci fight. You're at plus 430. So 2 women's overs, Tafa and Brown, which are 2 confident picks. I like it. Also confident Ilia Topuria does get it done. I do believe he's kind of, the guy up, the next guy up. He's been the next guy up, and we all know it too. Plus 588 if you had him on your slate. Do you go OV, Zhumagulov, plus 932 if we're going nuts here? Let me just go nuts with this one. I don't want to go too fucking chaotic, but, you know, I got to have a little bit of fun at the end of the show with these parlays. Some of them, value over everything. Gabriel Santos, I think, wins. I think him, Tafa, plus 127, and add in your guy Topuria. Yeah, it's 3 favorites, but it's 3 winners. Plus 195. I think this is a sneaky good one, too. Might throw down. If I am going to do that one, I would do it live on the Fight Companion before the main card. You know, because sometimes I like putting together those main card parlays. The OV parlay, which I'm like less confident in after weigh-ins, Zhumagulov and Radzhabov plus 238. I mean, the OV parlay also, you know, always has a chance to hit. Come on now, you guys know the OV's always got a shot. Don't always sleep on the OVs. Now, if I'm looking to compile some steam on a parlay, I think I'll go Philly Fresh Phil Rowe as a dog and Justin Tafa plus 287. But if you're like, nah, I'm not with you on Phil Rowe at all, I don't like the OV, potentially Gillian Robertson. But this is danger zone with Robertson Ricci because it is a super competitive fight. And like, I feel like I know that over is coming through. I just feel that over, so plus 140. You can ask yourself, you want to chase the value or you want to chase something that you feel is the sure thing? Ultimately, going to be up to you guys. Those are the parlays that I'm feeling. I think we got some good plus money tags, keeping it on the fairly safer side, but, you know, the cash inside. I'm looking forward to that lock, too, coming through with my guy, Justin Tafa. UFC Jacksonville is a banger. Tune into the Fight Companion tomorrow. I'm going to be live for the entire thing. If you're watching this on Friday, go run over to my live stream tab because I'm live for BKFC 45 for a beautiful Fight Companion. And you know I love that bare knuckle fighting. So if you're watching on Friday, check that out. If you're on Saturday, it doesn't apply to you. Hopefully you're tuning into that Fight Companion. Much love to the people. Thank you all for tuning in to another show. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the picks in the comments. And if you have nothing to say in those comments, but you just enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Much love, people, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.